Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Housewives of Lagos After Party podcast, right? It's been a week. It's been a weird last few days. But anyway, my name is Tina, and we have a special guest here. So I'm going to let OG introduce herself, and then our special guest introduce herself. I'm Tina.
And I'm OG, the unapologetic OG that will always speak her truth.
OG, the
And
Robo Dion Queen.
the Robert Bianchi OG that steps on the toes of some people, OG that will not be tamed. That is me. Oh my God. And we have a special guest, like Tina pointed out with us today, is none other than the queen herself, the supermodel, the icon, the fashionista, the non-biased Aunty Fumi.
Oh, thank you for having me, my darlings. Thank you for having me. Lovely to be here with you, Tina, and with the unapologetic OG. I live for you guys.
I will, we live for you.
We
You've
live for
always, I
you.
mean, like, and now we get to have a whole podcast with just you, and we can kind of chat a little bit more. But before we even get started, I want to make this very clear for all of you people out there, right? Every single one of you out there who sit there and come in the comment and start talking crap about my accent. Don't do it. If you do, your mother is going to get it from me. Okay? So let's not do this. Leave me alone. Leave my accent alone, and I'll leave your mother alone.
Oh
Okay?
my God. Before you
All
go
right.
Caroline on them.
No, I mean it's not even Caroline. It's just me. I'm being very clear. Like I'm not putting up with abuse. I will not
Mhm.
put up with abuse from anybody. And so all you people want to come into my comments and be abusive, I would abuse your mother, I will abuse your father, I will abuse your grandmother, I will abuse your kids. No, nothing is off limits. I will be Caroline for real. So leave me
but
alone.
but your accent is beautiful. I don't know why they
Oh,
would say
auntie,
that.
apparently they said I'm forming accent and that my accent is this and that, like I'm faking. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing it. And some of you guys who've said it on the comments, go read the comments. I cursed their mothers, and I will continue to do that until they leave me alone.
A hundred
So
percent.
Oh my
It's
God.
so
like
not necessary. It's so
like
not necessary. And I think your
people
accent is beautiful, but I think that's a little bit of them just being ignorant because if they're accusing you of an accent, they have an accent. You know,
exactly.
we
So
all have
they're saying that
accents.
I'm faking. They said I'm faking my American accent, and I don't know what to tell them.
Oh,
It's
please.
like you know so anyway, I
Yeah.
think that's just a Nigerian thing, is to come after people's accents sometimes, but whatever, I don't care. You come
Oh
after me, I'm
God.
gonna come
It's
after you.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't fight anybody, but if you bring fight to me, I will finish it. Where your madness
Uh-huh.
stop is where my madness begins, so let's go. Anyway.
You-
um Auntie Fumi, did you listen to the podcast that we put out yesterday, 3 hours long?
Yes, I did, my darling. I listened to it from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. It was three
Wow.
hours long. Yes, from 2 to
Yeah.
5. I listened to it. I felt that I had to listen to it just so that I could get another understanding from the girl's perspective. Not to say
Mm-hmm.
anybody was right, wrong, just to get a perspective. And might I add that it did fill in a lot of gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It made sense because I fully couldn't understand the season finale. I will say this: I couldn't understand why Choma would go from 0 to 100 at the pool. Now I understand that pool scene was about 4 5 hours long. Now it makes sense because it just wouldn't have added up, because I do feel that Caroline and Trauma are reasonably level-headed human beings who got upset at each other. But the way I saw it, it was too quick. It didn't make sense just because, oh, you shut up, da, 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 and then for it to fly off the handle like that. Now I understand that there was a lot of things that went on behind the scenes. As a matter of fact, for a couple
Yeah.
of days
Yeah.
before it became explosive. It was nice to hear from Iyabo. I think that was the first time that we were hearing from her. And it was also nice to hear from Chioma as well. It would be nice to hear from all of the girls because I
Mm-hmm.
believe every girl's story is valid. Your point of view is always valid. But then again, there's their truth, there's Caroline's truth, and then there's what actually happened.
Happened.
Everybody
Yeah.
has, you see, everybody has a perspective. So I like to stay on neutral ground and, just hear from everybody first. But it was extremely enlightening yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. I okay, before we even talk about the podcast, let's talk about the season finale. What were your I have my thoughts and I don't want to give them yet. What were your thoughts when you watched the season finale? What did you think?
Okay, I'm a positive person, so let me start with the
Mm-hmm.
positives. I love the fact that Toyin was pregnant. It was so unexpected.
Yes.
Nobody saw it coming. Nobody
Mhm.
saw it coming because she's just had a baby. Everybody, the focus on pregnancy in the show was always Laura. So it
Mm-hmm.
was such a wonderful spin that it turned out that Toyin Tiana is
Mm-hmm.
expecting another baby, and it does happen. Sometimes when you've had a baby, you can have another one right away. And I
Mm-hmm.
have a girlfriend of mine who had two children in the same year, and they're called Irish twins. If they're within a year apart, they're called Irish twins. So I thought that was wonderful. I also felt that it would have been nice if the husbands were much more involved because it was
Mhm.
the final and we just saw bits and bobs of it. I felt that from episode 8 all the way down to 11, it was just a fight, 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 you know. And that saddened me because I love all of the girls. I think they're all special. I thought that there could have been so much more that could have been brought to it. I felt that each one had a hosting gig, whereas it would have also been nice to have a day with the girls, a day with their business. I would have wanted much more of that and, so much inspiration that they could give the girls. I am finding I am enjoying the girls outside of the show than I should have been inside the show. I'm getting to know them outside in the podcasts, in your
Mm-hmm.
podcasts, than I am that I just watched 11, 12 episodes,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
It was a shame
So
that we didn't get to know more about them on this
ex-
show.
that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It would have been nice to get to know them, you know, to know how Iyabo feels, to know that Iyabo is an adoptive mother who has adopted so many children and young adults and prevented them from going awry on these dark streets. To know that she was a very, very young mother who took care of her mother and her father, you know that is really a very strong woman that I also believe she also needs therapy for her anger management because there are wounds that have not been healed there, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt that Trauma also is lovely girl. She is very thoughtful. I think she protects her friends, but I think that also, she became unhinged. And if you are in a very hostile environment, you can also produce hostility, you know. So I feel that there were parts where Trauma could have done things differently. I also feel that Caroline too could have done things differently. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
ending was not an ending, it was more of a cliffhanger as to what's going
Mm.
to happen next. It very much was like a continuation. It didn't end anything. I couldn't sum up anything, you know.
Yeah. So do you think that maybe they did it that way so that they could um they so that they can kind of continue the story in season 2?
That's a very good question. I think that regardless, they're going to have season two. I think
Mm-hmm.
that they made out with what they got from the girls, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that the girls were not given the platform and the direction for the fabulosity of entrepreneurship and showing
Mm-hmm.
the behind the scenes of their businesses, because then their platforms would have gone through the roof. Because if we
Yeah.
had sat down, for example, with Laura, and she
Mm-hmm.
sketched dresses, she actually sketched something with her friend, and her friend
Mm-hmm.
shows how they cast models, where you go to get where you go to cast models, where if you want to be a model, go for this casting. Very much like, America's Next Top Model. Give us proper information that they can say, oh, you know what, come over here. Or we're holding these other fashion shows this calendar week, Lagos Fashion Week. We're going to have it would have been so jazzy. It would have been so fabulous, you know, if we had taken flight with Iyabo to Turkey, to London, and see where she
Mm-hmm.
buys some of her things, having lunch, meeting up with other girls. That would have been an exciting show. Then if you
Yeah.
have then if they had a dispute of sorts, it would have also been of a higher class and standard, where, you know what, how can you, because you are in the boardroom and you are challenging each other, not with
Mm-hmm.
insults. I didn't need to
Yeah.
hear those words and whatever. It wasn't necessary. It just brought everybody to the gutter, not to the street, because I love the street, because there are designers who I love. I'm in the streets. I love street fashion. I love street food. I love street music, but I step right out of the gutter. Nobody's in the gutter. Nobody's in the gutter. No, no, no. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was what I didn't want. That was what I didn't like, because the boss bars, you can have disputes anywhere. There are disputes in the boardrooms for multi-million dollar buildings,
Yeah.
and the savageness and the slickness and the manipulation and the calculation of it all. But
Mm.
not to be gutter beauty, savage beauty. No, I didn't. I wasn't feeling that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where reading comes in. We
Yeah,
talked about this in
that's it. That's it, OG. That's it. You
yeah.
that you give them a read,
Read,
honey.
you read
Hmm.
them. Like they need to still go and do their, research and studies as well. They need to learn how to read it. Like you can actually have a sophisticated argument with someone without causing or abusing their family or anything. You can
Thank
actually
you.
like, come at them without doing all that. They need to go and learn how to read someone. They have a lot of things they could have used to read each other and not get down to gutter level. I agree
That's
with you.
it.
So a lot of yeah, like a lot of things people have been asking us, and I've been seeing comments about this, and I think it's important for OG and I to clarify this. People are like, well, you only got one side of the story for us, right? People have to remember that is the people who agree to do an interview are the people
Yeah.
we're gonna get, right?
Correct.
So exactly. So like every single one of the housewives have been invited onto the podcast to or whatever to talk to us. I mean, we're not taking sides, and I know some people think that we take sides. We're not taking sides. It's the people who want to talk to us who we have on. If Caroline wants to come, we will have her on. If Laura wants to come, if Tony, and we're not going to be abusive to anybody or whatever. We're just gonna give them a platform to speak whatever they want to say. Um, Obviously,
Yeah.
the people that have not been on the platform have either turned down or not responded. So that's why we don't have Caroline, or we don't have Miriam, or we don't have Laura. They either turned it down or they haven't responded. So stop attacking us and telling us that we are taking sides. We're not taking anybody's sides in this. The only people that we are able to talk to are the people who are willing and open to talk to us. So there you have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yes. And we always try to give every one of them the opportunity to speak their truth. That's why we allow them to talk. Most of the
Yeah.
times we try to ask questions and everything, but if you guys have been following our podcast, you will see that some of them just want to talk. They don't even give us the room to kind of interject and ask questions. They just want to talk. And I mean, like, we try to always make them comfortable and feel free to say whatever they want to say. So we allow them to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so the last episode, which it kind of, what did it start with? I can't even remember how the episode started. Like that's how like the season finale. It was so there was so much going on. And Auntie Fumi, what did you think
Mm.
of the Billionaire Club
I
thing?
loved it. I loved the Billionaire Club. I wish I was there dancing on stage and drinking fabulous drinks and eating lobster. You see, you know what it is? I'm a good feel kind of person. I could
Mm-hmm.
not have been in Dubai. Absolutely not me. Be in Dubai and be fighting. No way. I would have
Yeah,
left you right there and then. I'd have gone shopping because you see, I've been to Dubai. Have you guys been to Dubai?
I've
Yes,
never
I
been.
have.
You
I
have.
have.
Okay, okay, OG. So you know how fabulous Dubai is.
Yes,
It
it's
is.
one of the place I actually say if I need to relocate, that I would love to relocate to Dubai. But
Thank you very
unfortunately,
much. Thank you very. It is absolutely fabulous. When it comes to shopping, Dubai and Moscow, they are the walking, living Vogue magazines that come to life. The
True,
latest fashions that you cannot find, you will find in Dubai. The most
true.
beautiful kaftans you will find in Dubai. There is not
opulent.
any mall, anything that you can find. Dubai is luxury. That these girls went to Dubai and this is all that they did was shocking to me because Dubai is just so fabulous. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Mm.
I would have gone to look for the real housewives of Dubai there too, taking
Oh
pictures with
yeah.
them. Taking pictures with them. I'll be like, how are you, Amani? Amanan, how are you, honey? You are fabulous. Let's take pictures. Let's go swimming. Anyway,
Yeah.
like I was saying, yeah. So anyway, like I
The
said, go ahead, go ahead.
no, you no. This is your show.
No, I want to hear what you want to say, my love.
I was gonna ask a question about. I thought the yacht scene was also given too, so that's why I
Yes,
was like
the yacht
a
scene
little bit.
was the yacht scene was absolutely giving. The yacht scene was absolutely giving. I think it was very, very nice. Caroline had mentioned that they only had a swallow, and I kept on saying, "What is swallow? What is swallow?" I read in the comments, it's pounded yam, it's
100, yeah,
amala,
bono, yeah.
it's egbono. I guess because I'm in London, I miss those dishes, so I would have loved to eat those dishes there. So I thought that having Nigerian cuisine on a yacht in Dubai is very eclectic, is very fabulous. But if they were coming from Nigeria, from Lagos, where they eat it every day, I can understand
Mhm.
how you can easily get bored of it because I'm here and
Yes.
I get bored of sausage rolls, McDonald's, and all of that. So I completely understand. But again,
Mm.
the girls looked fabulous. The girls look
Yeah.
good. Yes, they did.
It
Yes, they
did.
did. I actually loved Laura's fufu. I loved
I
Iyabo's little
loved it.
pink. Yes, I loved Tiana's Arabian Nights costume that she wore on the yacht, and she came to the end of the yacht, giving us Titanic vibes. I lived for it. And of course,
Mhm.
you have my beautiful, beautiful, adorable Chioma, who is always draped in Dior. We have the same bag, so I lived for it. I was like, absolutely, my darling, you can drown beautifully. We will find you. Just look for Dior. Look for Dior. That will be
I call her
trauma.
Choma, dear, dear.
Yes, trauma Dior Dior. Just look for trauma in the sea. Just look for Dior. You know, I lived for it. I love Mariam. She's got a gorgeous figure. She's turned out to be such a pleasant girl. So
Yeah.
pleasant
Yeah.
on the show. So nice, so fun loving, so about, the girls. Laura is pregnant. I could see that on the show and she just did the best of it because to be pregnant and be on a yacht, you can imagine the seasickness. I doff my cap to her. She did a good job. She did a good job. And who else am I missing? I think I've mentioned all of the girls. So I liked it.
Yeah.
Yabo.
Iyabo, yes, Iyabo wore that beautiful pink top. I love her hairpiece, her hair wig, and everything. I thought it was a wonderful scene. It was when you look at the scene, you want to escape. You're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I want to go on vacation. That yacht scene, it's in itself. I think it was very nice. I hope that the girls had fun on the yacht, and I hope that they were able to take a couple of memories from that yacht, because I think when they went to film that day, it was all on the yacht. It takes time, to get it all right and edit and put it together. So I'm sure they were there, for a good while. It was fabulous. I lived for it.
So,
Yeah.
given what you now know based on the podcast and what probably took place for the yacht, so we now know that there was supposed to be a blind date that never happened. Does the come because at first I was confused about the conversation about Choma dating or having kids. It seemed like it came out of nowhere. Did they kind of make sense to you now? Um,
That's Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Do you remember on the yacht, Iyabo and Choma had a conversation about
mhm,
dating and about the men in Nigeria, the ones that she
mhm,
prefers in London? And I think that Choma is at a stage where she could be open to it, but at the same time, which she aired, she has her reservations because she's very successful as an entrepreneur, and
mhm.
she's open to maybe having blind dates. That would have been nice to see what kind of guy would have tried to charm Choma, you know.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that also for her, and I had said on my channel, she had talked about not wanting a child until she was married. And I was trying to tell her that there isn't any girl on the face of this green earth who doesn't want to have the ring, then the baby. But you
Mhm.
can go down that route of having a wedding, having a baby, and then getting a divorce. It goes there that things can change. So I want her
Mhm.
to be very open-minded, to look for the right things in a man. And that is about respect, love, and affection through the good and the bad. Money comes and
Mhm.
goes. We spend money, comes and goes. But if you have a guy that's your best friend, that's your really
Mhm.
good friend that looks out for you and wants the best for you can survive anything. You can survive everything, because that's life. You have to be
Yeah.
very prayerful and hopeful when things are bad. You have to be very humble when things are good. And a marriage is not the answer to everything. It is an evolution. You grow old together and you go through experiences together with the right guy. If it's
Yeah.
not the right guy, you're gonna have a divorce. If you have a divorce, you're going to co-parent, and that can be very, very ugly sometimes. He gets married to somebody else, he has kids with somebody else, you meet somebody else. You have to understand the balances, and there's no good, right, indifferent. I have some of my friends who have six kids, and they married 3 4 times, because that's
Mm.
just what happened. That was just life. And they met that person, and that person was the right person at that time. So,
Mm.
it would have been nice to see who Choma would have dated. And I think that they will pick that up in a season 2 if she does decide to come back. But I think that Choma is a nice girl. I think that it was
Yeah.
nice for her that she took accountability for her tardiness, and she
Mhm.
realized that no, that's not fabulous. And she quickly corrected it. And then for me, I don't really have any issues with Choma. I think she's a very funny, pleasant, nice girl. I really
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So based on the last, what is your overall thought of the whole season? We got to talk about fashion at some point, but what is your overall thought of this of season 1 of the Real Housewives of Lagos?
I
Uh,
think they did a good job. I think that as much as crazy as it was, they got us talking. They got us
Mhm.
talking, and we watched every single episode. I think that they did a good job. I think this is the new baby, and it's a first season for Nigeria, they did a good job. I'm under the impression they're going to be even better next season. They're going to come with the fire. I think that all the girls are going to know what they did because they watched the shows with us as we were watching. they're going to know what to do and what not to do. Same thing with the crew, same thing with production. I think that it was their trial run and they did a good job. Was it crazy? Yes, it was. But my God, did they get us talking. I've been on YouTube for 8 years and I've filmed over 600 videos. Never, ever, ever, ever in the history have I reviewed every single episode in any season of any show. They got my attention. They got my
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah. Auntie Fumi, just wanted to ask a quick one. Speaking on the yacht scene, there was something that actually happened at that yacht that I want to touch down on. We spoke about it here on the podcast, and a lot of people had their, observations and their, reservations about that particular scene. And they also having had a chat with these ladies, and they all agreed not to speak to Laura if she was going to bring drama. And okay, what the scene I'm talking about was when Caroline asked Tony for where the cup was at. She
Mm-hmm.
was, yes, and Tony immediately lashed at her, saying that I'm speaking to Laura. I mean, like, you can see I'm talking to Laura, so don't be rude. What's your take on that? Even after listening to the podcast, and what went behind the scene that could have
That
led to that?
that is a very good question. That is a very, very good question. Because to be very honest, I didn't see anything wrong in what Carol asked.
Okay.
Looking at the scene without any bias or knowing anything from behind the scenes.
Uh-huh.
If you came to my house, let us give an example. You came to my home, you, OG, and Tina, you came to my home. And I said, let's go out to the beach. There's a beach behind us. Let's go on a yacht or whatever. And you needed a fork or a knife or something. You didn't see any staff, because if there was staff on the yacht, I can understand. Then ask the staff.
Uh-huh.
The natural occurrence would ask me, Fumi, where are the forks? Where are the knives?
Uh-huh.
Let me finish. Now, also, I would say, if I saw, because I didn't see it per se, if I saw that Toyin was in a engagement with Laura, I might have waited for her to take a break and then ask, so that I don't look like I'm interrupting a conversation. Do you
Okay.
understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Because when Toyin turned around and said, don't be rude, I felt perhaps Toyin was trying to tell Caroline, Caroline, don't be rude, don't be funny, don't try to interrupt because I'm talking to Laura. You understand? Don't
Uh-huh.
try to be
Yeah.
slick. You understand? But
Mhm.
I didn't have any backstory. I just felt that Caroline actually needed a spoon and she asked the host. I think that was what came to my mind, that she asked us both, could she have gone downstairs and looked in the kitchen? Because I saw where Mariam and Tiana had a little tete-a-tete, and Tiana
Uh-huh.
was eating and having a good time. So the place was big. Could she have looked for cutlery or something? Yes, but maybe
Uh-huh.
the food was presented on the top. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I didn't. Having said
Okay.
that, I don't know where, if it was a situation where Caroline was just trying to be petty and say, let me interrupt Toyin talking to Laura. Let me also add to this, and maybe because I am older, conversation, communication is key. I
Uh-huh.
thought it was childish to ignore Laura in the first place. Laura,
Uh-huh.
we're going on this episode, we're going on this trip, and we would like you to really be pleasant. If you cannot, if you if you cannot be pleasant, please don't come. If you cannot be pleasant, please don't come. Is somebody's mic?
Yeah. OG, are you? Is I think that's your mic. That's fine.
Yes. Yeah. If you cannot be pleasant, please don't come. The mere fact of saying, oh, let's not talk to her, let's not this, The problem here is that somebody will talk to her, and if you don't know what's going on, you will assume that one of the girls have betrayed the group and the
Trade you, yeah.
conversation, and then this is what has happened. Because Choma had the conversation with Iyabo in the desert. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What do you think
Yes.
about Laura? What do you think about this? Again, like I've said, let us have transparency. Okay, perhaps they want the drama for the show, but the thing was, again, and I will say it, every pregnancy is different. Every pregnancy is different. Maybe Laura is having a hard time with the pregnancy, not to say that she should be rude or disrespectful, but I would give her a pass on that yacht 100%. That she even came to Dubai, I'll give her a pass. It's not easy for everybody. I've been pregnant, my sister's been pregnant, my mother's been pregnant. So many people have been pregnant, and the pregnancies are all very different. So at the end of the day, Laura, can you handle this and the condition that you are in? Can you, because you signed up, so you knew, or whatever? Fine. Because what happened now was that Laura and Toyin made up in Laura's bedroom. Tell me you miss me. Tell me you love me. Tell me you're sorry. They kissed and they made up. So now Tony is now cool with Laura. But that does not mean that Laura and Carol are cool. So what happened was that there was a break and there was a broken communication gadget. So when Caroline turned and said, Tony, where are the spoons? Tony now spun around and said, don't be rude, don't be rude. Use your yellow papa sense and know what to say and what to do or whatever. And I love me some Tony. I love me some Tony. I don't know. I don't know. I cannot blame either one of them, and I cannot hold either one to anything because, again, there were breaks in the communication and we did not see what happened behind the scenes. I
Sure.
bet my
Yeah.
bottom dollar if you bring Caroline, Caroline will bring her version and we'll be all in arms. Yes, of course, that's it. Yes, that makes sense. Everybody has a valid version. Everybody has is expressing themselves of how they felt, how they read it. You know, Chinese whispers. Let me tell you a story. If I say
Mm-hmm.
something and I whisper to Tina, you understand? Tina
Yeah.
whispers what I said to OG. OG whispers to somebody else. By the time it gets to the 10th person, it's a completely different story.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's it. Communication,
Mm.
communication, communication, communication. And if you're feeling a certain way and you don't know how to express yourself, think about it. Why am I feeling a certain way? Am I jealous? Am I angry? Do I still want to punish Laura? Do I want Laura here? Oh, you know what? I'm cool about Laura now. But I know for a fact not all the girls are cool with Laura. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should have a little chat. Guys, let's just, have fun. Let's just this. Wouldn't it have been nice for all the girls to have had a fabulous, fun, loving together episode? It would have been
True.
nice.
Yes. True. 100% true.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there were so many things like there were so many feelings I was feeling. They were having fun at the pool, right? They were all dancing. Tonya was throwing people into the pool, and the next thing, well, after the yacht, let me even go back a little bit. After the yacht, the next scene we saw were people crying, calling their family, and I was like, "What the hell happened here? Like, what's going
Yes.
on?" It
Yes.
was so weird to me because I didn't understand. I'm like, how did we go from sugar to shit in
Yes.
in the next scene? I
Well,
didn't
here's the
understand it.
th- yeah. Well, here's the thing. Crew wasn't there. Crew
Hmm.
had gone to bed because they must have filming schedules, filming times. I'm an actor and I have done some serious feature films in California, and it's exhausting. You have
Hmm.
to focus in this small square box. You have to get the lighting. Audio has to be right. Background noise has to be quiet. Everybody's hair, makeup, wardrobe. You have assistants flying all over the place. It is exhausting. And you have to film and you have to make sure that you are telling a story. So, where we want to blame the crew and say, why weren't they there? They're there majority of the time. This happened towards the very end of the night, complete end of the night, you know.
Hmm.
And as Iyabo said, Iyabo had gone to say good night, which I thought was very pleasant and gallant of her. You've had a lovely
Mhm.
day. Wish you guys a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow. What Yabo did not know was that Caroline was upset because Caroline wanted her own room. Now, this is also a very interesting part. Why suddenly did Caroline want her own room? Because
Yeah.
herself and Choma had had a conversation, and Choma said she can't remember it, but Caroline absolutely said that she had talked about Choma's boyfriend and left a sour taste in Choma's mouth. And from there, that was why Choma was really cheesed off, on top of the fact that Choma felt that Caroline just was not sensitive, actually, to Laura's hurt, which Caroline had
Mm.
caused. Everything blew off, blew. And Caroline, according to Yabo, I don't know because I have to hear what Yabo also says. Sorry, I have to
Oh,
hear what
Caroline.
Caroline, yes, Caroline also says. But Yabo said that Caroline went from 0 to 100 and it was transferred aggression. Okay, do you know? Let me tell you, girls, OG and Tina, the two of you,
Mm.
you're like my baby sisters.
Mm.
Do you know that you can be shouting and screaming, "Hey, Aunty Fumi, I'm pissed off. I'm this, da 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 da." I just look at you and just walk away. I say, you know what? The girl's going through changes. Let me come back in an
Mhm.
hour or two. More so because you're my younger sisters. I'm really going to start fighting my younger baby sisters. Even if you're rude, even if you're disrespectful, you will realize that you're looking mad all by yourself. I'll walk away.
Yeah.
I will walk away and I won't talk with you for a good day or two until you come to yourself. And then, oh, Auntie Fumi, I'm so sorry. This, but for me to say that I want to start physically, you see, I'm too fabulous. My nails, my skin, my hair, my outfit.
Oh my God.
I'm just too fabulous, especially my nails because I grew my nails naturally. I don't have tips or anything. I cannot break that nail because you are acting crazy. No, absolutely not. Not in Fumi land. I would have walked
Mhm.
out. So the thing was that Chioma found herself the following morning really bruised and battered in an abusive relationship. That's how she woke up. Like, what is this? What have I signed up for? I don't like what is happening to me and my body. I'm getting
Yeah.
affected. And she
Yeah.
directed that. That was how she felt. So she called her mom, she called her sister because this was new territory for her. I think also for Mariam. Mariam is an easy go, get along kind of girl. Also,
Mhm.
all the girls are missing their families. It doesn't matter that Choma doesn't have a daughter or a husband. She's missing her family because she's very, very close to them. And all the
Mhm.
girls are missing their children, they're missing their husbands. They are on foreign ground and they don't like the way they are being treated because they feel that, oh, if I was back home, this could never ever have happened. If we were back home, I would never ever have met you in my own clique, in my own group. But they are thrown together and they've got to make this work. And the worst part of it is that this time have passed now where they've gotten to love each other. Choma said that, and that is fair because when you don't know somebody, you don't know somebody, but time prevails and you get to know people and you get to like them and you begin to build friendships. So they were like, well, let's make the effort because it's Toyin's birthday, you know. So this is
Mhm.
Mariam telling her sister. This is Choma telling her sister as well as her mom. It was a
Mhm.
mess. It was a mess. And I believe, and I sincerely believe, Iyabo was hurt because below that anger, below that is a frightened girl.
Mm.
Everybody has their trigger. Everybody gets hurt about different things, and it doesn't matter. The way Yabo felt is valid, but it's also valid for the way Caroline must have felt. She apologized and she felt, okay, you know what, let me go and apologize again. At the same time, she also felt Iyabo put her on blast about the insensitive comment she made about her stolen beautiful tennis bracelet, diamond bracelet that she lost. If I lose a tennis bracelet, like I had lost my Cartier bracelet in Miami, I would be upset. Now, if you came to me and said, "Oh, Fumi, was that your lover? Or was that your boyfriend? Or was that your husband that gave it to you? Who gave it to you? Because you know you have this one, that one, that one, this one. Who now?" I would be upset. And I would
Yeah.
tell you, get out of my sight. You're very insensitive. So I think that Caroline did not express herself well. She has to speak up for herself. Again, give it a read. Yabo, you know what? I'm not in the mood for you right now. I've lost a bracelet. It means a lot to me. And don't come here trying to be funny, asking me who gave it to me and who didn't. It's my bracelet. It was lost. Try to show some sensitivity. End of conversation.
Go off, Aunty Fumi, go off.
That's it. And then you give a dramatic exit with your kaftan blowing in the wind. That would have been fabulous. Do you understand
Yeah.
me? Do you see? That would have been fabulous. That would have been
Yeah,
fabulous. And you know, to just give it the glamour of it all.
yes.
You know, then we would have been like, "Ooh, child, she gave Yabo a read,
Read.
hunty. She read her for filth." Do you see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it would have been a scene. Now, had
yes.
she done that, this is another thing about energy. You've got good energy, you have bad energy, you have aggravated energy. What happened was that Iyabo poured that into Caroline, and Caroline sat for 6, 7, 8 hours with that bad energy. And when she saw Iyabo again, she just spat it all out like vomit. Iyabo didn't necessarily do anything right there. It was her prior sins and crimes that Caroline was screaming about.
Mm.
That's how I read it.
Hmm.
That's how I read it. You know. So for Yabo to say, "I did
But
not know. I forgot. I forgot that we were live. I forgot that." Yabo, my darling, that's on you. That's on you. As you have valid reasons to be upset, Caroline had valid reasons to be upset. You just did not
yeah.
communicate, either one of you.
Well, I have a question for you as well. So what I did get from Iyabo was the fact that she felt that there was an underlining reason why Caroline blew up at her, right? Which is why she, from the conversation that we had with her on the podcast, she was very clear that it wasn't, and Choma, it was actually Choma, wasn't very, it was very clear that it wasn't the fact that Caroline hadn't apologized. It was the fact that there needed to be a conversation between Iyabo and Caroline to get to the bottom of things, right? And so that way they can kind of be good again and they won't have this conflict. So I have a feeling that that was what Caroline was resistant against, but it was what, but it hurt Iyabo that Caroline wouldn't even have that conversation and that she blew up. And you know, it's like for me, if I come at you, Auntie Fumi, and I start, and you've been the sweetest person to me. We talk about personal stuff. You call me, I call you, right? And we talk all
Yes.
the time. And then out of the blue, I'm like, Auntie Fumi, you're not my mother. You said something to me like, good night, I'm going home. And then I just start blowing up at you. And maybe you might have said something in the past that may have hurt my feelings, and that's fine. But if you're saying we were fine in between that, and then I start calling you out of your name and whatever, I can see you being hurt by me, right? It doesn't excuse Iyabo's behavior and wanting to fight Caroline, but I think what we a lot of times I think now that we have a little bit more of a context, because when we watched the show, I was like, actually, if you guys listen to the podcast after the show, I was like, what is wrong? Why would anyone be fighting over the fact that someone said you're insensitive? But then I
Yes.
understood a little bit clearly that I think the fight was bad, but I think Iyabo, and she said it, she said, look, I have anger problem, and you said it, that maybe she needs to get therapy for that, because it's not healthy. But I think what I'm trying to say is I feel, and you and Auntie Fumi, you and me, we talked right after that episode, right? And
Yeah.
we talked about a sister to sister moment and the fact that had I been in that situation, I know myself, I don't like um toxic conflicts or something. Like, ask OG, my heart beats so fast whenever something that is mildly conflict or that is makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I freak out, right? So I
Yeah.
probably would have walked away and whatever. But I think that they needed to have a one-to-one conversation, just like I think Caroline and Laura need to have a one-to-one conversation in a where they can table everything and then kind of have a clean moving forward moment. Like, you cannot move forward. So I think that's what Choma wanted from Caroline, because, and also we all have to remember that Iyabo said that she went back to the house. She was going to be cool with everything. She went back to the house and she overheard Caroline, after three apologies, talking shit about Iyabo, and
Yes.
she overheard that, and that, so
Yes.
she then knew that the apology
Apology.
was not sincere, and that there was no conversation that needed to be had. And the moment Caroline saw her, then all of a sudden she wants to now have an apology. She wants to have a sit down conversation, something that Choma has been pushing her to do for a few days at that point. I think that's what I like. That really, I think they should have had that conversation. I don't know if if there's anything that Choma could have done, that like, it's just two people have to be able to make that decision to want to have that conversation. Is, I
A
don't know,
hun-
I just spoke in circles.
yes, 100%. And I think I've gotten the gist of what you're trying to say. I think what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying is that when push comes to shove, Yabo was very hurt. She really didn't understand where it was all coming from. And
Mm-hmm.
where she had eventually tried to come, you know, calm down, she went to speak to Caroline to say, okay, Caroline, it's fine, let's squash it. Only for her to get there to hear that Caroline was still saying, I'm not apologizing. I've apologized already. I've given her a present. I don't want to apologize anymore. Now, here's the thing, and I've said it. Caroline has to come onto the show and give us her version, because it only makes sense because we're only having Yabos. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Yabo's telling lies. I'm not saying Yabo's telling lies at all. No. What I'm saying here is that it would be so nice to get that version of how Caroline felt inside. I have been
Mm.
around the moon and I've been around the sun of this world 53 times. And I've come to learn not to rush to judgment. I've come to
Mm-hmm.
learn, as good as and clear as Yabo made it feel, and she is legit. She is right to feel and express the way that she said, and her story is valid. 100%. I would never say she's lying. But what I've come to realize is that when you hear from the other side, then you get
Mm-hmm.
really truly the complete picture.
Yeah.
Because I fail to realize, sorry, I fail to believe that the production would completely hire a completely loose cannon, a mad person. Caroline is not mad. Caroline has to
Yeah.
have had reasons for the way that she did. Right or wrong. I'm not saying that she's right. I'm not saying she's wrong. I just want to say that she must have had the reasons. Just the way Choma said, how can I go from 0 to 100 by the pool? That would not make sense. We also
Mm-hmm.
have to understand, why did she go from 0 to 100 with Caroline? That
Exactly.
sorry, with Iyabo.
Yabo.
That does not make
Mm-hmm.
sense. Something that we don't know or has not yet come to light might have happened, because
Yeah.
it was important for Iyabo also to understand. I tell you, there are times where I can offend people and I have no idea that they were offended at the time. It's only
Mm-hmm.
afterwards they say, oh, Fumi, this happened. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. It flew right over my head. I didn't even think
Mm-hmm.
anything of it, you know. So,
Yeah.
because I don't have everybody, you see, for me, if all of the girls are sitting down, or I speak to the girls individually, then I can say, aha, because I can now add everything together, button up all the loose
Mm-hmm.
ends, and say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
because it's Yabo's story, Caroline's story than the truth. And then I can come and say, you know what, OG Tina, I think this is how this went down. But you see, from Iyabo's version, again, I repeat, which is valid. I'm not saying she's telling lies. It is her version. And in that
Yeah.
version, she still said, I don't know why Caroline behaved like this. She still
Mm.
did not undo. So how can we know? How can we assume there's something that happened or something with Caroline that we don't know? I would also say that Caroline, I think for her, as she said, it was transferred aggression. The transferred aggression was an excuse. There's something
Mm-hmm.
else that went down. Could it be the bracelet? We don't know. But I know that it is part of it because when you go to the scene, when Yabo said, who gave you the bracelet? Toyin put her head down. Marian turned away because they all knew it was an inappropriate question.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
for
Mm-hmm.
they
do
all
you see what
reacted.
they all reacted? So and that was on blast, as they call it. You know, you put me on blast on national TV. And then for the confessional, Caroline said that the way she said it, as if I go with different men. No, if it works out with you, it works out with you. Why? Because we do not know also if Caroline had a conversation with her guy, and the guy said, well, it seems as if you're going with other guys. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know how
Yeah.
that had a domino effect on her.
Yeah.
And all
Yeah.
Yabo thinks is that, oh no, I said it, I was laughing with my other girls. I forgot I was on air. And that's understandable. I do it with you guys. Are we on air? Aren't we on air? I ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there are things that come across sensitive. As you
Mm-hmm.
said, as you said, Tina, you and I talk about personal stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want it to be aired out. Absolutely not. And
Yeah.
hurt you in the process, I would rather cut out my tongue. So we
Yeah.
have to put that into consideration.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just interesting, and I really wish that I really wish that they had that they were able to have that conversation.
Yes,
Because I
yes.
feel like it was a missed opportunity, not only for
Yeah,
us the viewers, but also for like the ladies to be able to kind of get back on the right footing. And
yes,
we can see like, oh, they disagreed, but then they sat down, put on their big girl pants. They had the conversation about what was really bothering Caroline. And, and Yaba can express how she was really feeling to be disrespected. And
yes,
everyone could have, like moved on.
yes,
And again, I'm going to keep saying this. I hope for season two, whatever budget they have, that they figure out something where they keep those cameras on.
yes.
They
I
keep
mean,
those cameras on.
it's a reality show for crying out loud. They should have upped their budget. They saw this Dubai trip coming. This Dubai trip was not impromptu trip. It's something that they planned at the end of the season. It will happen because this is what every other franchise does. They have a trip uh, the at the end of the season. So yes,
Yeah.
they should have planned ahead of time. They should have gotten a villa or a hotel that the production team would be nearby to actually
Hmm.
get any moment or any reaction from these ladies. Like you cannot tell
Yeah.
me that the production team was hundred or thousands miles away from where these people that actually brought you to Dubai were staying. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. And that whole place
Yeah.
that they rented or that they paid for they should have prepared ahead to put some cameras inside there. Like, get some. They missed a lot of opportunities, Tina. Like you say, a lot of opportunities, like a whole
Yeah.
lot. Wire the whole
So
place so that they
yeah.
can
You
they
know
can
what it is? Do you know what I think? I'm not sure. I
Mhm.
think the most beautiful gesture turned into a nightmare. From
Yes.
the second Mariam invited Toyin's husband as a surprise to Dubai, all of a sudden the musical chairs stopped because they were shot a bedroom. That was what happened.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful gesture. But the husband was living far away from them. It didn't make sense. As we now know, Choi is pregnant. Who doesn't want to be with their husband? Who doesn't at a
Yeah.
special time in Dubai filming? So what happened now? All the rooms were now disjointed. All of a sudden, the two that you thought would absolutely get along could not get along. And so the rooms now were short because, again, as they expressed yesterday in the podcast, nobody wanted to share with Laura. Now, that doesn't make sense to me. If Tony Yostami had said, well, we've made up, we're okay, and now we're talking to Laura or whatever, somebody should have wanted to speak to share with Laura. So what happened was that they were short two rooms. Nobody's sharing with Laura. Tony is checking out, and she's going to stay with her husband. With her husband, and then Iyabo said, "Well, I'm free. I can do whatever." And then from there now, Chioma and Caroline, that were such good friends, no longer want to share a room. That's exactly what happened. And I think Caroline, for her, again, no excuse, maybe a little dramatic. It was a shopping list of things. She didn't like the food well, no, her bracelet was stolen or lost. That was one. She was on the yacht, no food that she liked or that she wanted to eat. She now had a fight with her best friend on the show for the past 3 months. Yabo made fun of her and made it look as if that she has other guys in tow. Which one is it this week? So, I'm just saying. So the way Caroline kind of, she felt overwhelmed and she just went off. Was it right? No, she could have identified each one, and she could have even said, "Guys, give me five. Just give me five. I need to decompress. I've lost this diamond bracelet, and I really am not happy. Give me a minute." Because at the end of the day, she didn't show up for the final scene. She didn't have to show up for the beginning. She could have met in the middle. Let me go and get some food. Dubai has all kinds of food. Crew has to take accountability for their cast. Every time I was on set and I was a principal, I had everything that I wished for in my trailer. I did. You have to take care of your cast. You have to take care of your cast because you want the best production out of them.
True.
Aha.
I was also surprised. The yacht, if Tony wanted the ogbono soup and all that, fine and good. But they should have asked the other ladies what they would love to eat on the
Very
yacht. So
good. Yes,
provided for. They will have
absolutely.
different cuisines on the yacht
Me,
so
I'll be
that
eating ogbono.
everybody
Yes,
will have something to eat.
yes,
That's what they
yes,
should have
yes.
done. And
A
also,
hundred percent.
speaking of on the accommodation, Aunty Fumi,
Mm,
this was just a budget thing because I feel on the right this thing, the production where this whole all these ladies were supposed to have their own rooms.
yes.
As far as that's how the other franchise, they all have their individual rooms. Like everyone will have their separate rooms. They
Like they
were
did
not
in
supposed to.
Abuja. Like they did in Abuja. Mm,
Yes, that they like they did in Abuja. Everyone had their rooms, and
yes,
their plus one stayed with them. So if they all had their rooms, Toyin's
yes.
husband would have just stayed in her room.
100%.
So this was a budget thing, and this was
Yeah,
not out very well.
yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, what can we talk about the fashion the whole season? I want to talk about fashion. I want to get on a lighter moment
Yes.
because this is bringing me my energy is down.
Anxiety.
Yeah. I have anxiety. I really do because like
Yeah.
trouble problems it just no,
Mm-mm.
not me.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So what
I
did you
love
think
the
of the
fashion.
yes, me too.
I love the fashion. I loved the individual um blueprints of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
There were things that I could absolutely see was unique to Tiana. There
Mm-hmm.
were outfits that I saw that was absolutely unique to Trauma. They were the
Yeah.
strongest personalities bringing fashion to that show,
Mm-hmm.
100%. It was
Yeah.
very unique. It was super strong. It enlightened and it really brought a light to Africa, to Nigeria, to Lagos.
Yeah.
When I went for a fashion, I went for a speech with Donatella Versace. She said that Nigerians are one of the best dressed in the world. She said it. Oh, yes. And she was absolutely right. These girls were
Yeah.
fire. These girls have their tailors, they're all custom made. And very quickly, there was also, I think, a television award show, film and television award show that the girls
Mm-hmm.
also attended, which brought light, real platform. And I reviewed it. And I said to
Mm-hmm.
myself, oh my God, I'm not going to be really buying designers' costumes anymore. I'm going to start buying from Niger. I'm going to
Yeah.
find all of these. Yes, I'm going to find all of these custom designers. They're all on Instagram. When I'm ready, make one or two fabulous outfits for the red carpet when I'm hosting the Golden Globes out here in London, because they always have viewing parties for the Golden Globes, the Academy Awards, and they
Mm-hmm.
invite me. And I would love to give that platform to my Niger people.
Mm-hmm.
And for fact, I was so proud, so proud of Tiana. That Tiana really showcased her house, her fashion
Mm-hmm.
house, how she works with her husband. I lived for the fashion. Some of it was a little crazy for Choma and for Tiana, but on the grand scheme of things, it was fabulous. Even Laura gave us one or two pieces. I remember very earlier on in the season
Yeah.
she did. You understand me? It was, and then I remember Mariam wore one fabulous black dress that had a deep V all the way to her belly button. I said,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. I remember when Tiana had her 40th birthday, they brought the culture, and Caroline was a sweet
Mm-hmm.
caramel chocolate. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, 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 wow. I remember when they went for, oh, yes, the girls give it to me. I was like, excuse me, ladies, give it to me. I loved it. I love the color. There's so much pride in our culture, in our roots. They brought the culture. I love the spin on it. It was fabulous. I know, bless his soul, I know he's resting in peace. Andre Leon
Mm-hmm.
Talley would have said,
Oh,
Fumi,
Oh,
Fumi,
yes.
darling,
my heart.
Fumi,
That's my
darling.
heart.
Yes, he would have said, Fumi, darling. And I said, Andre, honey, this is fabulous. I said, this is
Mm-hmm.
fabulous. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
it would have been, they would have been invited, and I'm seeing it out now. Um, 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 what does she call herself? I'm forgetting. I'm blanking out. Well, okay, let me say this. They should be invited to the Met Gala. A hundred
Mm-hmm.
percent. The
Toy.
next season, yes, the next season, these girls have to be invited to the Met Gala. Invite Toyin, invite Tiana. Tiana first. Invite her to the Met Gala, or you do an ensemble cast invitation and invite all six girls and let them bring the fire to that white rice carpet. Let them
Yeah.
give it to us in New York City and say, this is the culture. Do it for Black America, do it for white America, do it for Africa, do it for Niger, do it for Echo, do it for these
Mm-hmm.
six gorgeous young girls. With all that was going on, they gave it to us left, right, bars, goes. I lived for it. I snatched my husband's wallet. I said, I gotta go shopping.
Oh my God.
No, they really, I have to say, they gave us fashion. They
Oh
gave
my
us
God.
fashion. And I have to, I tip like you, Auntie Fumi, I'm
Yes.
in, in the process of moving. And I was telling my husband, I was like, yeah, we can give this away. We can give this away. And he's like, really? Tina, we have to have two closets for you in this house, and now all of a
Yes.
sudden there's no closet for you. And I was like, I want to get clothes from Nigeria. So
Yes.
like I'm seeing the fashion, and so I really want to get clothes from Nigeria. I want to support Nigerian fashion designers. And I mean, the whole reason for me wanting to do this podcast is because I really wanted to support Nigerian people, right? So the
Yes.
ladies, the fashion, the businesses, I really do. And honest to goodness, in my heart, that's what I wanted to do. It just so happened that the tea keeps coming to me through Miss Robert Dion, my co-host. So,
Yeah. No, 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 no.
so
Because the thing is that American Vogue, Anna Winter, put them in
mm-hmm,
there. You understand me? Edward Enifel, who is the
mm-hmm.
chief of editor in chief for British
British
Vogue.
folk, yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm,
put these girls there. You have Fenty do a
mm-hmm,
collaboration because she's doing Fenty Beauty in
mm-hmm,
Africa. Put these
mm-hmm.
girls there. Do a collab where somebody does for a lip gloss and it's named after each and every of these girls. Make
Yeah.
this fabulous. You see, this is why, they can't afford me, really and truly. Because you see, when you have me on a reality show, these are all of my demands. This has to be
Yeah.
fabulous. You can never see me fighting because I'm busy fighting Anna Winter for the cover of American Vogue. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
that's what I wanted. That's what I want to see. I want to see fabulosity, 6-inch high heels of culture. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Do the photo
Yeah.
shoot in Ikoyi, do the photo shoot in Victoria Island, bring out all of the designers, do like a street fashion like Gucci did, take over, you understand me, Beverly Hills or whatever, because these girls are international stars. They're
Mm-hmm.
celebrities, overnight celebrities. And the fashion
Yeah.
was fire. The fashion was
Yeah.
fire, and it will transcend little by little into street fashion. You already know Zara is on top of it because they hot, because they're Spanish, so they're black too. So they're going to copy
Mm-hmm.
one or two things that they got from there. You already know that H&M is there from Sweden, been there. They love anything chocolate, anything darker. Oh my God, they live for
Mm-hmm.
it. They will put all of that into the street fashion. The girls brought it. They brought it, they brought it, they brought it.
So my
And
next
that's on
question to you.
period.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's on period. My next
That's on
question to
period.
you, my next
Mm.
question to you is that what was your most memorable fashion moment on the show this season?
Woo, child, that's easy for me. That's easy for
Mm-hmm.
me. It had to be the culture, the 40th birthday of Tiana. I
Mm.
lived for it,
Okay.
every single one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, me
Every
too. I
single
have
one
to
of them.
say
It
that.
was that scene right there. I got dancing. Then they brought Nice out there for him to come and start
Mm-hmm.
singing. Oh, I threw my wig in the air. My son was looking at me like, "Mommy, what's happening?" I said, "Honey, let's dance." I threw my wig in the air. It was too much. I couldn't handle it. Yeah, it was fabulous.
That's no, I have to say the cultural was given. That cultural event was given everything that it needed to give. So
Yeah,
and in
yeah,
terms of the fashion, I mean they brought it. I love the Ashoke that Tony
yes,
did. I mean
yes,
Caroline looked phenom.
yes,
What's the name? Choma looked good. Yabo looked incredible.
yes.
Miriam, I forgot what Miriam was wearing. What was
It
Miriam
was an
wearing?
English dress.
Yes, because
Miriam.
unfortunately,
Go ahead,
No,
Auntie.
no, remember I said it on here, Tina. I just
Mm-hmm.
understand why Miriam wore that. She's married to a white man.
Bless you.
no, 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 no,
Mm.
no, no. That had nothing to do with it. If you listen, she had no idea that it was traditional. Nobody let her know. So that was why she wore what she wore, because she's worn
Oh, okay.
traditional before. Yeah, yeah, no, no. She
Yeah.
said it. She absolutely said it. She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She had no idea that it was a traditional birthday party. She didn't get the memo. That is what
Mm.
Mariam said in her defense. Because at the end of the day, if you are married to a European in Niger, the two of you
Mm-hmm.
will show up in traditional. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think Mariam will say, because I'm married to Oyinbo, that's why I will not embrace my culture. That just does not. Then why are they living there? Do you see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. It was she said that she didn't get the memo. That's what she said.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, I actually forgot what she wore, but then I remember like, oh yeah, Miriam wore a regular outfit because I was like, oh
yeah,
Miriam. I wanted to see
yeah.
her because Miriam can slay.
No,
And Miriam is
and
my
she's got the body to do it too.
yeah, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
she's literally my favorite in on the show because I like her
Mm,
vibe, I like her fashion, and OG can tell you that that's my girl. So I just
yeah,
I was like, what was she wearing? Okay, and then
yeah.
Laura looked good. I know some people were like, why was she wearing Ankara? But I liked it. I didn't have a problem with what Laura was wearing. She looked good,
I
as
like
well in that whole
I
scene.
liked what I really truly liked what all of them wore, even Mariam that
Yeah.
wore the English. You understand me? It
Mm-hmm.
was a scene for me. I think it was an ensemble presentation of all of them. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what I liked about it, and I really dug the fact that Tiana was wearing the pants. She wore the pants
Yes.
with the agbada. You understand me? It was like King
Yeah.
Tiana. In that scene, yes, this is king of fashion because she said it, not queen, king. And I said, you are absolutely right, Tiana. You are king here. I live for it. I do live for it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything? Oh, I wanted us to have a sister to sister moment
Yes,
about
please.
friendship,
Yes, please.
and how we handle situations when things go awry,
Yes, yes.
given
I
everything that
tell
we
you,
know about this. Yeah.
yes. I tell you this, and it is so easy. I think that again, maturity, because I've also made mistakes. I don't want to come on here and think and let my the people that are listening think that I haven't made mistakes. It's from my mistakes that I have learned. You see,
Yeah.
friendship has to be sincere. You have to be sincerely happy for somebody because the friendship will test you. It
Yeah.
means that when you're all in high school, you're wearing the same uniform, you're all growing together, you're on the same level. For me, what do you
Yeah.
mean? It means that you're all in Form 5, you're all high school students, your life has not affected you in any way yet. The
Mm-hmm.
second you graduate, life starts. Some of you are going to go ahead before others. But I
Yeah.
want you to believe that your time will come. And when those people are ahead, be happy from them. Be happy for them. Learn from them. Be close to them so that whatever winning chips they have, it can shadow you. Always have an
Mm-hmm.
open heart, open mind, because everybody's path is different. Who would
Yeah.
have believed? Who would have believed that Kobe Bryant will die at 40? Who would have
Yeah.
believed? He had his wife, he had his 4 girls. He started playing basketball at 17. There were guys that were envious, but his life was short. Some of us will go on to grow old to be in our 90s. Some of us will not. Some of us will have children. Some of us will not. Some of us will lose our parents. Some of us will not. Life happens to all of us.
Yeah.
Life affects all of us. We have to be our sister's keeper the way we want our sisters to keep us for the
Yeah.
hard times, for the good times, for the unexpected times. In girls' friendship, it's always envy, jealousy. This one said that, that one said this. We want to break down and analyze. We switch sides. Okay, I'm not your friend anymore. I'll be this person's friend now. No, friendship is years. It's years of going up and down, seeing each other through. You can't really say you're friends now. No, we know each other. Friendship is when you look back at 30 years of friendship. That's a friend. That's a
Yeah.
sister. That was who was with you during chemotherapy, was with you when your mama died, was with you when your daughter went to university, was with you when you moved house after your divorce. That's friendship. This right here is not friendship. You're only getting to know each other. But it's important to know yourself, to respect yourself, to respect who you stand for and who you are. Always be proud of who you are. You are a walking ambassador. Anywhere you go, you represent somebody, some group of girls, some group
Mm-hmm.
of country, some people. You are an ambassador. And so you act as such. And so when somebody upsets you, you walk away because you are goddamn too fabulous. You really are.
Yeah.
And your circle of friends speak also about the kind of person you are. Always go with people that know better than you, know more than you. You'll do better that way. Take the hard road. Don't take the easy road. Your character will be tested, and that is the person that you become because people are going to look up to you too. Be a friend.
Yeah.
It's free. Be a friend. It's free, but it's priceless. Do it because
Yeah.
you can. Do it and make sure that the person can't pay you back. Do it because you can. Be a friend, but understanding friendship is testing. Don't be jealous. Don't be angry. Express yourself. Speak another day. Speak another time. Be able to forgive. Be able to
Yeah.
forget. Be able to overlook. But don't take nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And to Fumi, in
Oh
general, what do you still talking?
no.
And okay.
Yes,
I
darling, I'm
was
here. Yes, I finished. Yes.
okay. I was going to ask, in general, what are you expecting from them in season two?
I'm expecting more ghost bass because these girls are yes, these girls don't hear word. I'm expecting I'm expecting more ghost bass, but I'm also expecting a revamp of the entire show. They have to go back to the drawing board, and I'm expecting that the girls will come back. I'm I am expecting the girls will come back apart from one or two. Apart from one or two, I think the girls will come back. And I think that they will now be in a better position to navigate and also navigate their contracts. And by so doing, I think it will be a much more interesting show.
I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm not gonna. Just so you guys know, I'm not doing a podcast for season two. I'm not doing this.
It's very
It's too
exhausting.
much. It's
Yes.
exhausting for me. It's too toxic. Too much for me. I don't have time for that. So I'm just going. to
Yeah.
And the whole stand culture of standing reality show people is weird to me. So I was like, nope, I can't. I like the stands come at after us that we can't say anything. We can't speak because our podcast is to speak our opinion. They're like, well, you can't take sides. I'm like, do you realize that this podcast is for opinions? We're not
Yes,
like,
yes, yeah,
yeah,
and your opinion is valid. And the thing is that you have to take the good with the bad. You have to develop a very thick skin, and I think that you
yeah,
guys have done a fantastic job. People are not aware about the time staking that you put into this aside from your lives. Let's not even talk about your jobs. Aside from your
mhm,
lives, it's a lot of time. And I have to applaud you, OG, when I tell you you are fabulous. Tina, when I tell you that you are just a
thank
gem.
you.
It's a lot of work, and this is why they call it show business, because they're just
Mhm,
seeing the show. They don't see the hard work and the business that you put in behind the scenes. It's a lot,
yeah,
and the thing is that they are just like the beehive. They have hardcore fans, very, very fast. So you can't say anything about these girls, but your eyes stay strong. And if any of them do something wrong, I will say it. All of them did something wrong at some point in time, and all of them did something right at some point in time. I am very even keel because they are all my daughters. They are all my
hmm,
daughters. I love them. One without the other would not have made the show. It wouldn't have made the
yeah,
show, you know. So that's how I feel about it. And at the end of the day, somebody else can go ahead and do a podcast for this. But I think that let us see what they give us, and let us see whether, just as you, I will come back and review the episodes because it was exciting. I don't think no, 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 no. Real Houses of New York was fabulous at some stage and point. Lagos Housewives was right up there with them.
It was. I'm tired. For me, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. I was catching crews and just trying to have fun, and I
Yes.
didn't expect like getting threatened. I mean, I get threatened for why? Why? So
That's not
I
nice.
can't do that.
That's not
Yeah.
fair. No, not at all. Unacceptable behavior.
like
Unacceptable behavior.
like I
Yeah.
said, we are stepping on the right toes, and they see
Yes.
our
Yeah.
influence. So that's the thing. But the
But
Yeah.
again, it means that you are stepping on the right toes. You are applying
Yeah.
pressure on somebody's neck.
Yeah. So it was not fun because I'm just a regular person who saw the show. We two people randomly met on the internet that said, "Hey, let's talk about the show on our podcast." That's it. But to like get threatened and all kinds of stuff, and
No,
I don't
that's not
have time.
fabulous. No,
Yeah.
100%. I'm sorry to
All
hear
right.
that.
It's fine. It's gonna be okay. I mean, I want people to actually do what they threaten, and they will see where my madness starts. So
Oh,
where their madness stops is where mine starts. So, but
yes.
anyway, it was a great season. I
Yes.
enjoyed most of it.
Yes.
Um, there were some confusing aspects of it, but it is what it is, right? The season is over.
Yes.
We're waiting for the reunion.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you, Auntie Fumi. I mean, I actually met you through this show. Like we have, interacted in the past, but we
Yes.
actually interacted directly
Yes.
through this show. So
And we're going to
positives.
do great things. We have some things in the pipeline that we want to do together. So I'm really looking
Exactly.
forward. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I think you guys did a phenomenal job. Congratulations to all of the girls, and to the entire production cast. You did a good job. You did a good job. We talked about you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Thank
thank
you
you
so much
so
for having me.
Thank
thank
you,
you
thank you,
so
thank you,
much.
thank you, thank you so much. And for those who are listening to this podcast, thank you for tuning in every week and indulging us, and just listening to us just talk about our opinions about what we saw, what we thought. And as we always say on this podcast, remember that these are human beings, they have feelings, and so be
Yeah.
kind in how you respond to things and how you talk about these people. And also, no stand culture. We don't care about who your fave is and who your fave isn't. That is not why we're here. We're just talking about either what we see on the show or what the ladies put out there, either via interviews or on Twitter or whatever, or on socials. That's it. So like none of that. Oh, this person is the best person. That person. Actually, I've started deleting those comments because I don't want to see people disdain culture. I don't want to see it. If you have a valid criticism, you can, and I'll leave those up. But if you're going to be abusive to any of those ladies or us, we would delete those after I embarrass your mother and curse your mother. But
Allow them to allow them
Yes.
to opinion if they want to.
no, I don't want them to be abusive. That's the thing. I don't care about their opinion. They can have an opinion, but you do not have the right to be abusive. And so I will delete those and I will abuse their mother back. So, all right.
Ah,
Well, that's
okay.
it. That's it for us. So I'm going to end this podcast and maybe we'll have one more episode for the reunion or not. We'll see. So bye guys.
Bye.